This is the KJ Singh Show with your host KJ Singh. So naturally, the establishment in the form of the Israeli government, particularly Benjamin Netanyahu and Yoav Gollant, who have seen the application of arrest warrants for them from the International Criminal Court, are shaking in their boots. But obviously they're going to bluster, they're going to, speak very hyperbolically about how this is anti-Semitism on display by the ICC and how, these civilized nations need to disengage with the ICC. The sheer hypocrisy when all of the same establishment applauded the ICC for issuing arrest warrants for Vladimir Putin, and rightly so. But the establishment, of course, it's in the service of power. And in this case, it's in the service of the US-dominated paradigm, which includes Israel as one of their satellite representatives in the Middle East. So therefore, it's not a surprise that Biden, despite the fact that he's losing big time amongst the progressives, he is, is willing to fall on the sword for this entity that is committing a genocide. So you've got the ICJ, the ICC, and both are the highest courts on this planet. Until we have some galactic justice system, these are the highest courts in terms of really, charging people of the highest crimes in the land, of which genocide is the highest, most extreme form of crimes that can be committed. And we've seen, it's not just overt actions of genocidal mania on display, with Yoav Gollant talking about we will remove all water, electricity. There's this quote: there will be no electricity, no food, no fuel. We are fighting human animals, and we'll act accordingly. Now, apologists will say, no, that we are fighting Hamas. Hamas are the human animals. But who do you think will be affected by the withdrawal of food, water, electricity? It's the everyday person. So the collective punishment aspect is inflicted on the population en masse. I mean, that just goes without saying. So these, and of course, you got Benjamin Netanyahu referring to the Palestinians as Amalek. This is, of course, if you actually refer to these biblical references and understand that Amalek was a tribe that was destroyed in its totality from man, woman, child, and even animals, then you see the primitive, they like to say that the Palestinians are primitive, but actually the way they conduct themselves in the morality with which they speak, the ethics, it's very primitive in nature. This is not a liberal democracy. This is a ethnocracy with some democratic and liberal aesthetics. At the root of its state, it is ethnocentric ethnostate. So let's not be, let's not beat around the bush. And my next video, it may be part of this video or the next video, I'm going to be doing a kind of a response, watch along to Benjamin Netanyahu, with his bluster, his response to the ICC. It's quite performative, to say the least. There is no authentic bone in this man's body, and because of course, most for him, the means justify the ends. The genocide justifies the ethnic cleansing and the acquisition of Gaza Strip as, a land that is within Israel, or Gaza Strip as a security buffer, which includes the ethnic cleansing of the Palestinians. Because, of course, he not only referred to them as Amalek, he also referred to the thinning out of the population, which is essentially ethnic cleansing speak. It's interesting because when there was this one of the first massacres since Hamas were in power by Israel, Operation Cast Lead, there was a lot of genocidal statements on display, and the Israel government, after being reprimanded, after being pointed out by human rights organizations to be on the side of this genocidal mania, or collective punishment mania, they toned it down for the next massacre, which is Operation Protective Edge, which killed more people. But they toned down their rhetoric. But in this occasion, as Gabor Mate, a former Holocaust survivor, a man who I would consider the mensch of mensch, in terms of he is a truly wise being, a man who's truly compassionate and understands the situation on the ground, what's happening in Palestine. I really recommend checking his stuff out, because he is he's not only seen trauma as a child within the context of the Holocaust, he's also grown and overcome it through his own self-study and contemplation, and as a therapist. So it's really interesting to hear his videos and his lectures. Really, really crucial. So I would probably do a separate video on Gabor Mate, who is one of my greatest inspirations, amongst many others, like Norman Finkelstein, Noam Chomsky. There's quite a few, Gideon Levy. A lot of them happen to be Jewish people, only because, of course, not just Jewish people. You got Motaz Aziz. You got all Rania Khalid. You got all these people who are Palestinians and Jewish. But the reason why that a lot of Jewish people who are who are vociferously against this, because they don't want it to be done in their name, but they also recognize the real lessons of the Holocaust, in that the Holocaust wasn't bad because the wrong people were on the inside of a concentration camp. It was wrong because the whole concept of concentration camp was wrong in the first place. It's something that really right-wingers don't seem to comprehend, because I think at its root, to be a right-winger is to cut off your empathy, your ability to even self-reflect and even self-awareness. Like, have you ever seen a right-winger who's truly funny, who doesn't use humor as a way to punch down on people, as a way to ridicule or mock people in a way of trying to extract power? It's very difficult to find someone who's right-wing, who's not, who is self-aware. Quite difficult. So that's the most significant story of the day. But there's another significant story that happened within a span of 24 hours, which was the helicopter crash, which led to the Iranian president being killed. And so, or rather died in that process, because we do not know if it was intentional, if it was, but I feel like this is one of those situations where it's more of a coincidence, but we cannot speculate. If it was something that was planned, it is possible, but it is too close to the mark for it to be, something of a, planned event, especially when it would just be such a horrible, and provocative action. When you look at the environment in which this helicopter crashed, complete smog everywhere, you cannot see anything, and also the fact that you got these sanctions on Iran, which means that they have a lot of close to malfunctioning or non-optimal equipment, such as the equipment that is required in the helicopters. So this may be an indirect result of Western foreign policy. But this is something that we cannot speculate too much. I do not believe in conspiracy theories. because reality is enough as it is. Reality has enough evidence as it is. Just look at how money plays and corporations play a big part in trying to control and extract from the working class. That's enough as it is. We don't need to come to any kind of grandiose cabal of people in a room. No, it's not an ethnicity that's in a cabal, like the anti-Semitic trope. It's not conspiracy theory by this certain forces working together. Although because that's not a conspiracy, that is in effect. Because when you see US and Israel just giving carte blanche to each other's war crimes, then that's not a conspiracy. That's just self-evident. So it's not not a lot to talk about Iran president, although that may be a kind of a green light for some of the not the Islamic, but the evangelical and the Israeli right-wing religious fundamentalists that may see this as a sign from God, a form of divine providence, which that can also kind of create some more bluster and arrogance, which can lead to more greater forms of violence down the road. But more on this in the future. Of course, it will be developing. But I'm glad that really the genocide is being seen as it is, despite the establishment. The establishment is not on the side of people. You have to understand this. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to do another video where I'm going to responding to Benjamin Netanyahu's coping mechanism, his performative, enraged mock rage. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Very much appreciated. Thank you.